world's most sprawling archipelago, Indonesia, is at a crossroads, and what happens next in its skies could tip the balance of power across Southeast Asia. For decades, the Indonesian Air Force has flown a patchwork of American F-16s, rugged Russian Sukhois, and even aging F-5Es. A legacy that tells a story of shifting alliances and pragmatic survival in a turbulent region. Now, faced with the reality of an aging fleet and rising security challenges in the South China Sea, Jakarta finds itself forced to choose. What jets and what partners will secure Indonesia's future? In 2025, this is no ordinary arms shopping spree. Indonesia is carefully crafting a new, non-aligned defense doctrine, one where sovereignty is protected not just by the power of the jets it flies, but by the independence of its procurement decisions. In Jakarta's strategy rooms, the word of the day is diversification. No more putting all eggs in an American, Russian, or Chinese basket. Instead, Indonesia wants options, many options. Strategic autonomy is the goal, and the world's leading arms manufacturers are lining up at Jakarta's door. And what a lineup it is. The French have already inked a deal for 42 state-of-the-art Rafale jets, with the first deliveries locked in for early 2026, and a fresh letter of intent for 18 more Rafales just signed in Paris last month. The United States, not to be outdone, is pushing the advanced F-15EX Eagle II, offering Jakarta a fleet of 24 if the price tag doesn't scuttle the talks. Meanwhile, Beijing has made its boldest move yet, pitching the Chinese J-10 Sea fighter, sweetened with offers of naval vessels and integrated armaments. The options don't stop there. Indonesia's wish list has included everything from Russia's formidable Su-35, a deal quietly abandoned in the shadow of Western sanctions, to the promising South Korean KF-21 and Turkey's stealthy new Ka-an fighter. Yet, it is China's J-10 offer that is sending the strongest tremors through regional capitals, a sign that Jakarta's next move could reshape not only its own air force, but the entire security architecture of Southeast Asia. Absolutely. Here's the next section, written in an engaging, narrative, and analytical style, using the very latest open-source reporting and focusing on the specific appeal of the J-10 for Indonesia. Why would Indonesia seriously consider China's J-10C, especially with Western giants and rival technology crowding the field? For Jakarta's military planners, the answer is as much about strategy as it is about value. First and foremost is cost. The J-10C comes at a price tag far below its Western rivals. With the Indonesian Air Force operating on a tight budget, the Rafale's sophistication and the F-15EX's brute force may simply be out of financial reach, especially when you factor in operational costs, spare parts, and pilot training. In contrast, China's offer reportedly includes generous financing, technology transfers, and even the option for rapid delivery of second-hand jets directly from the People's Liberation Army Air Force, PLAF inventory. For an Air Force urgently seeking to close its capability gaps, that kind of immediacy is hard to ignore. But price isn't everything. The J-10C's battle-tested reputation has received a significant boost thanks to its service with the Pakistan Air Force. Recent regional headlines have focused on the aircraft's performance in tense engagements, including widely circulated, though still debated, reports that Pakistani J-10Cs shot down Indian Rafale jets. Whether myth or fact, this combat narrative carries real weight in Indonesia's defense circles, lending the J-10 an aura of credibility as a modern dogfighter that can hold its own against Western hardware. Technically, the J-10C punches above its weight class. Branded as a 4.5 generation fighter, it boasts a cutting-edge ESA radar, advanced avionics, and sophisticated electronic countermeasures. Its missile arsenal is equally formidable. The PL-10 short-range missile and the long-range PL-15B VR missile have earned respect for their agility and reach, drawing comparisons to the latest Western air-to-air missiles. Add in the J-10C's distinctive delta wing and canard configuration, which translates to high maneuverability in a dogfight, and a whopping 11 external hardpoints for weapons, sensors, or fuel tanks, and you have a multi-role platform that's as versatile as it is lethal. Yet the appeal of the J-10 goes beyond military spreadsheets. The jets are part of a much larger package, one that rides on the back of Indonesia's booming economic partnership with China. With China already established as Indonesia's largest trading partner and one of its top investors, a defense deal could cement a deeper strategic relationship, weaving security ties into the fabric of Southeast Asia's most important bilateral economic link. As Jakarta weighs its options, the J-10 offer stands out as a potent combination of affordability, credible capability, and geopolitical leverage, raising the stakes for every other competitor in the race to modernize Indonesia's air force. Indonesia's potential move to add Chinese J-10s to its air force isn't just about jets. It's about recalibrating the balance of power across Southeast Asia. If Jakarta greenlights a significant J-10 purchase, it would send shockwaves through regional defense circles, signaling not only Indonesia's intent to break free from reliance on Western suppliers, but also China's growing clout as a military exporter in the ASEAN bloc. For decades, the regional arms market has been dominated by American, European, and, historically, Russian aircraft. A J-10 deal would put Beijing squarely in the mix, challenging the status quo. But this diversification comes at a cost. The pursuit of strategic autonomy means Indonesia's hangars and maintenance depots would soon play host to a dizzying variety of hardware. French Rafales, American F-16s and F-15EX, Chinese J-10s, and perhaps even legacy Russian platforms. This mix creates daunting interoperability challenges. Pilots and ground crews would need parallel training pipelines, spare parts inventories would become more complex, and mission planning would require a patchwork of technical manuals, simulators, and digital architectures, potentially undermining operational efficiency in a real crisis. From Washington to Canberra, such a bold shift is certain to raise eyebrows. The US and its allies have long viewed defense relationships in binary terms. You're either inside their security network or you're not. An Indonesian pivot toward Chinese hardware would likely spark concern that Beijing is making new inroads in the Indo-Pacific, complicating US-led efforts to counter Chinese influence and maintain a coherent regional security architecture. Jakarta's willingness to buy from all sides tests this logic, but it could also risk straining ties with traditional Western partners who see military interoperability as essential to any future joint operations. The implications stretch beyond fighter jets and training manuals. In the South China Sea, Indonesia and China have mostly avoided direct territorial disputes, but fishing rights and maritime incursions have already sparked tensions. If Indonesia starts flying Chinese platforms, it could fuel anxiety among other regional claimants, especially Vietnam, Malaysia, and the Philippines, about Jakarta's evolving security calculus and its willingness to hedge between superpowers. Zooming out, Beijing's J-10 offer is part of a much larger play. China's effort to position itself as the premier defense supplier to the global South, using arms sales as a tool to build influence, forge dependencies, and rewrite the rules of the regional order. For Indonesia, however, this moment represents leverage. By entertaining offers from China, France, the US, and others, Jakarta is forcing each suitor to put their best package on the table: defense, financing, technology, and political backing, while keeping its cherished non-aligned stance intact. In short, the J-10 saga is about much more than a simple procurement decision. It's a test case for how Southeast Asia's biggest player can shape the region's power politics in an era of great power rivalry.